My husband accused me of sleeping with our next door neighbor, and no matter what I said or did, nothing seemed to convince him otherwise. He made my life a living hell because of this. He saw me coming out of our neighbor's room and automatically accused me of cheating. I've tried telling him this story several times, but he just doesn't believe me. So what really happened was, I was walking by the window of my neighbor and we were on good terms with him. So I just raised my hand to say hi. I could see he was eating something. Immediately he said hi back to me, started choking, and he fell on the ground. I had to rush into his room to help him. A bit of the food he was eating had lodged in his throat. I encouraged him to cough. Then I helped him bend forward. Then I gave his back some blows to try to dislodge the blockage. I saved his life that day. I went to his kitchen and fetched him some water. I even suggested we go to the hospital, but he said he was okay. He thanked me, and immediately I got out of his door, my husband saw me. I rushed to him immediately to tell him what had happened, but this man didn't even let me talk. He asked me to stay away from him, called me a slut, and said my cup was finally full. At first, I didn't even understand why he was talking this way. Then it dawned on me that he was accusing me of sleeping with my neighbor because I just came out of his room. I tried to explain what really happened to this man. Oh, but nothing I said worked. My neighbor came out to explain to my husband that nothing had happened between us. This man didn't want to listen. That same day, he asked me to pack my things and leave the house. Just like that too. I didn't know my husband didn't trust me this much. I refused to go, so he left. He packed his bag and left me for 1 whole week. We've only been married for about 6 months at this point. This man blocked my number. I was a mess. I cried from morning till evening, and I prayed to God to change his mind before he came back to the house. But when he got back, things got worse. He called me a slut every opportunity he got. He refused to let me touch him. He stopped eating my food. When I couldn't take it anymore, I called his mom and dad. They called a meeting, and I told them the whole story. His dad asked him if I had ever given him a reason not to trust me, and he said no. They called my neighbor and asked him if I had slept with him. He said no. He told them I saved his life. They asked my husband if he had any evidence of me cheating on him, apart from the fact that he saw me coming out of my neighbor's room. He said no. He just kept saying that he feels it in his bones that I slept with a neighbor that day. They told him marriage was all about trust, and that since I've not cheated before and I've never given him any reason not to trust me, he should give me the benefit of the doubt. It was after this meeting that this man finally calmed down. Even then, he still used it against me several times. It took months before he even let me touch him. I was doing everything in my power to make my husband happy. I just wanted him to look at me like the way he used to. So I took all the insults. Then things finally changed. This man was an angel once again. He stopped talking about my neighbor. He started making love to me. It just changed overnight. The love he was showing me was even more than he used to show me. I thought this man had finally forgiven me and had fallen back in love with me. Oh boy, was I wrong. Now, before I married my husband, we dated for 4 years, and I actually thought he was going to propose to me on our 4th anniversary, but he didn't. I didn't know what he was waiting for, and I didn't want to ask him. I wanted him to do it on his own time. Then he proposed to me all of a sudden, and he married me within 1 month. People close to me even thought we were getting married because I was pregnant, but that was not the case. I just thought my man finally wanted to be with me, and he wanted to be with me fast. Now, I think a week or two before he proposed marriage to me, there was this girl who stayed with her hands behind his house. She was around like 17-18 years. Her aunt had a chop bar, so she helped her sell the food. Now, 1 or 2 weeks before I was proposed to, I was in my man's house when I heard this girl screaming. I rushed to the back of the house, and I saw that the aunt was beating the girl. I asked what was going on, and the aunt told me the girl was about 6 months pregnant, and she claimed she didn't know who the father of the child was. I begged the auntie to stop beating her because she was in a critical condition. It was that day I got to know the girl's name was Hannah. I gave Hannah some money and I left them. She gave birth a few months later, and I even bought some things for her and her baby. But I later heard she lost the baby a few months later. Now, things were great between my husband and I was happy once again. He had stopped accusing me of cheating on him with a neighbor. We were even planning on having our first child. Then Hannah visited me when my husband was at work one day. She looked pregnant again. She burst into tears and told me she was having an affair with my husband. Before she got pregnant the first time, my husband used to send her on errands and let her keep the change after. Then he started giving her money. Then he started touching her, and they started sleeping together. He told her he loved her and that he was going to marry her. When Anna had found out she was pregnant, she was scared my man would tell her to abort it. So she had kept the pregnancy to herself for months. She was hoping he would finally marry her when it was too late to abort the pregnancy. After she told him, he asked her to abort it, but it was too late. Then he refused to take responsibility for the pregnancy. That was when he proposed marriage to me, and before Hannah knew it, we were married within a month. So in exchange for a little money from him every month, she kept quiet about their affair till she lost the baby. A few months after she lost the baby, he started making advances at her again. She was being maltreated by her auntie, and she needed money to leave her aunt to start a business on her own. Since my husband had promised to give her the money to move, she started sleeping with him again, but he didn't give her the money, and now she's pregnant again. She didn't want to keep it. She wanted to go back to her hometown since things were not really working out for her in the city. The worst part of the story was that she slept with my husband on my marital bed several times. In fact, I had met Hannah in front of our house the day my husband accused me of cheating. She looked very startled when she saw me. I just waved at her, said hi, and passed. She told me she had just slept with my husband in my marital bed that day. So this man had the audacity to accuse me of cheating when he had just slept with another woman in our house. I didn't even blame Hannah. My husband was just using her. She looked so tattered. He was not even giving her enough money to buy good clothes for herself. I just felt so sorry for her. To me, she was just a girl trying to survive. But she knew what she was doing, and I should have just walked her out of my house. But I gave her the number of a nurse who helped homeless girls get rid of unwanted pregnancy. Then I gave her money for transportation to go back to her hometown. I told her to put herself first, and that men will continue using her if she lets go. I even gave her some of my old clothes. She broke into tears, went down on her knees, and thanked me. Before she left, I asked her not to tell my husband I knew about the affair. A week later, I met her auntie in the market. I asked of Anna, and she told me she had gone back to her hometown. I called the nurse to confirm if Anna had come by, and she said yes. Hannah had gotten rid of the pregnancy. Now, I know you are thinking I'm going to leave my husband. I didn't. I stayed with him. We have 3 beautiful children now. Oh, and my kids are not his, but he doesn't know it yet. Can you guess who their father is? Follow me or click the plus sign for more story times.
Hey, blood of Jesus. Shebura doesn't Anabi. So for men where they do any amona, they careful. Not be everybody you go shit on where go let you go in peace. Oh, be careful. Oh.